This is Mark Anthony with Mercury Time Price Analytics, and welcome to our end-of-day ES Futures S&P trading video for Wednesday, April 30th. By all accounts, today appears to be a key reversal day. Let's dig into the charts. Now, what you see on the screen is one of the live charts that our members have access to in real time. There's a lot going on the screen. Let me just break this down because at its core, our automated algorithm is very, very simple. We'll take a look at a screenshot showing yesterday and today. Algorithmic long trigger 28.89, short trigger at 29.51. On our website for our members, we've got tutorial videos that show exactly how to interpret this. But in addition to that, you see the live chart in real time. There is no software to buy or download. We run this via a web conference. So each day you put the code in, you log in, and you see the live chart in real time with all this data. If you're a swing trader, you're looking for multi-day positions, this is our swing trading algo. If you're a day trader, this is our day trade algo. And over on the right side, this shows our proprietary oscillators in real time. So you can map out your strategy in advance. You know where these levels are that define support and resistance in real time. Now let's take a look at last night. I posted this chart on Twitter last night. And what you see here with this cyan line and this orange line, these are algorithmic regression lines. The regression lines are a function of time and price. So we put a formula based on all these multiple time cycles that we use. And it gives us the beginning point and the midpoint for the regression lines, and then we just extend the line to infinity. And what this shows you is areas that price will return to and battle over time and time again. Now, I posted this chart last night in Globex right after we came up to this regression line. And the comment was, nice run today. This is completely unsustainable. So you come up to the regression line. You did get a little bit higher high last night at 29.65. And then you come in today. This is our daily bull bear pivot. This is generated 90 minutes before the open. So you know 90 minutes before the open where the single most important price of the day is. And today it was 29.39.98. Well, once it broke that, it never looked back. Then price came down to this orange regression line. And what price will do is it will gravitate back to these regression lines, and then it'll fight over it. Comes down, bounces back up, stopped, by the way, at our midday pivot to the tick. Came down, it broke it, and then it comes back up and it fights over it, and it does it back and forth on these regression lines constantly. Now, let's take a little bit forward look from that point. Again, you can see the daily bull bear pivot at 29.39. Here's the midday pivot at 29.18. This is a tick acceleration pivot, and these acceleration pivots work in both directions. You can see when price came up here, it broke the acceleration pivot, came back, and it took off. Comes down today, breaks the acceleration pivot, tries a back test, and then boom, it breaks. So these acceleration pivots work in both directions, and they do exactly what the name implies. Price accelerates in both directions. Now, what's interesting on this chart, everything on here except the midday pivot, these are all generated before the market opened today. The bull bear pivot, the tick point of control, you can see where that broke. This Mercury band, the multi-day trend short cycle, everything on this chart except the midday pivot, these were all generated 90 minutes before the market opened. We take these levels after the algos run, we overlay them as horizontal pivots. So now you have two very important things. You know when to enter long, you know when to enter short, and then what the pivots do is they allow you to precisely manage the trade. So, for example, price comes down into this pivot. This defined the day session low. We were short, and this told us where to take profits. Now, let's look forward a little bit more from that point. Globex, we get a gap down through the tick trend change warning pivot. Now, what's amazing about our algorithms is when we run these in the morning, they not only give us the price level, but they give us the specific name to affix to that level. And there is no other system available for consumers that does that. So now not only do you have the precise pivot levels, but you know in advance what type of behavior to expect when price gets to it. Now, here's something else that you will not see in any other consumer software. And when I say software, there is no software to buy. We run this on a live chart, so you see this on your computer. You're not paying for software. You don't have to worry about downloading something that may have a virus in it. It all runs on a live web conference. Now, this is something that is truly amazing. Here you have the multi-day trend long cycle. You have a multi-day trend short cycle, multi-day trend long cycle. Generated 90 minutes before the market opened today. This video is being recorded Wednesday, April 30th. So when we had this gap down in Globex, you had a 50 handle gap down in Globex. The low was 28.53. The multi-day trend pivot, 28.52.65. This low came within less than 2 ticks for a pivot level that was generated this morning 90 minutes before the market opened. Now, I said this on my last video, and I want to say it again. The mathematics in this system proves the existence of God. And that may sound a little far-reaching for you. There's mathematics in the universe. There's mathematics in the periodic table of elements. There's mathematics in time itself. Once you master the concept of time, you don't have to worry about price. If you've ever read or studied anything from W.D. Gann, what did he say? Time is more important than price. Time goes back to the very moment of creation. Price is a number. Numbers came into being about 10,000 years ago. Time is more important than price. Once you master the dynamics of time, you can run computer formulas that put out a level like this 90 minutes before the day session opens, and you have a 50 handle gap down that stops within 2 ticks. It's the same math that gives you a bull-bear pivot that is that important. All of these pivot levels are based on mathematics that is all throughout nature. If you think Fibonacci numbers are important, it's nothing compared to what you see on your screen right now. Now, I want to show you one more thing on tonight's video. Here you have our algorithmic oscillator. Now, the fastest oscillator on here is this dashed white line. Then moving up in terms of length, you have the solid white line and the little dotted white line. These are the short-term algos. And what happens when one breaks, it goes to the next one. And what happens when that one breaks, it goes to the next one. Now, after these 3 short cycles, you have our trend pivots. You have these orange oscillators. I said pivots. These are oscillators. They move in real time. You have the orange trend oscillator here, and then you have the most important one, this very thick orange line. The purple oscillators are acceleration oscillators. So you come down and you break the first orange trend oscillator. You come down to the acceleration pivot, and price will typically find initial support at these acceleration pivots because price has to come a long way just to get to them. So then you have the back test. What happens when acceleration pivots break? Boom. And they come down to the key trend pivot, trend oscillator. And what the oscillator is, it's just a pivot that moves in real time throughout the day. And when you got this move back up, that's what gave you this gap down. A gap down through this key trend oscillator is not to be trifled with. May is going to be a very bumpy ride in the market. Our systems give you the mathematics to trade the market both long and short. There's a reason that you had Apple, Amazon, Facebook, and Google all report before the end of the month. Normally, Apple's reporting date is much later than the other big tech companies. Why do you think they all reported this week? They all reported this week because they know May is going to be a very ugly month in the market, and they all got their earnings out of the way when the market was ramping up to these levels. Now, I know those dates were set in advance, but our math showed us several months ago that May was going to be a big, big problem. And these major tech companies know that, and that's why they all reported this week. So if you haven't been to our website is mercurysignals.com. If you go to our website, you'll see just right here on the homepage, example after example after example. There is no consumer software or consumer trading platform that does what our systems do, and it's not even close. And the nice thing is, if you buy a couple $1,000 piece of software and you don't like it, they don't give you your money back. Well, here we bill every 2 weeks. You don't want to be part of our trading community anymore? That's fine. You don't pay another dime. We don't even ask you to pay monthly. So 2 weeks, and that's it. Now, I mentioned that we trade long and short. So we took a long position down here. You had this Mercury band down here at 56, and then you had this pivot down here at 52. So it came down here, and we knew as price was coming down into it that this was the next level. There wasn't anything below it. So we knew that there was an extremely high probability that this Globex gap was going to stop here. So we went long at 28.55. And here on our trade alerts, you can see in real time, 6:16 p.m., long entry 28.55. ES traded down through to the multi-day trend cycle within 2 ticks. Here's the chart, and here's how we managed it. We managed the trade in thirds. Took 11 and took 4 handles for the first third, 11.5 for the middle, and then took profits on this at 28.77 because you were coming back up into this gap that was created in Globex. So it's as simple as that. You have the live chart. You have the oscillators. You have the pivot levels so you know where to take profits, where your key entries are, and you've got all the trade alerts in real time, day after day. So if you haven't been to our website, it's mercurysignals.com. I decided to extend the special pricing that we had. It was supposed to end today, April 30th. I've extended it to May 15th, and I do not believe we're going to run it much longer than that because right now we've got our prices discounted. I think it's like 60, 65% off the regular rates. These rates are not going to last. If you want to check out our systems, you're never committed to more than 2 weeks at a time. We give you a lifetime guarantee on your rate. Your rate will never go up, no matter what it goes to in the future. So if you want to lock in that right now, you'll never have to worry about a rate increase. And at the same time, you're not committing to more than 2 weeks at a time. So stay tuned. Please keep viewing our videos. This is going to be a very tradable, very profitable May, even though I expect it to be very, very bumpy in terms of the downside. So with that, we thank you so much for your time. I hope everybody is healthy in your family and your life. God bless you. God bless your family. And we hope to see you again real soon.